So my name is Stephen Martin. I'm a professor of astronomy at BCC here, and it's my pleasure to welcome back an honored guest, Ada Zavala, who has come to talk to us all the way from Peru. So Ada is a sociologist. She is also a traditional indigenous healer, trained in the ways of plant medicine with her people. She comes from people in the Peruvian Amazon, the Wari people, who have lived in harmony with the plants and animals and nature there for centuries, actually millennia. And she has learned much of her medicine from these people who have lived in a very sustainable way. She's a curandero. She is trained in both Western ways and indigenous ways, and she's a bridge between cultures. So we're very pleased to welcome her to actually speak about the plants and animals and peoples of the Amazon and their approach to healing. So welcome, Ada.
Thank you. In my language, we say, buenas tardes. How do you say in English? Good afternoon, yeah. I am so excited to return to visit Providence. You know, this is my second time, and I feel so happy, especially because I had a wonderful, wonderful experience on the last Saturday with my relatives here, you know, the Iroquois people. And also very, very excited to meet the elders, you know, because in my culture, in my philosophy, elders represents the most important people, to respect them, to share with them, to give love to them, you know. So it was an amazing experience to me. Thank you. Thanks, Brother Lloyd. Thanks to my new sister, you know. So, and also, thank you, Stephen, because I see you just right now, because we didn't have any opportunity to see each other before, you know, because you and me were very, very busy. So thank you for this invitation and coming again to visit the Bristol Community College, you know. And thank you to all of you to come and share with me and hear about my experiences. I know that we have only just 1 hour, but believe me, when I start to talk about my history, about indigenous people, about medicinal plants, time works in other dimension for me. And I will try to be sure about the time is running. Before I start to share with you about medicinal plants and about my home, the rainforest Amazon, I would love to ask to you about your feelings or your sensations about me, about my presence here. Are you curious to know me because I look like an Indian? Are you curious about me because I represent, you know, like a different culture from you? What is the motivation to to come here and hear to me. I would love to hear some of your reflections, you know? Yes.
My friend is from Brazil, she's married to a Peruvian. My friend is from Brazil and she's married to a Peruvian. And my sister's a healer too. That's my motivation.
And you are?
I teach here,
Oh.
college,
Uh-huh.
teach health.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm here because I'm just very curious about the medicine and cure and the whole legacy that you have from your native people around healing. And I think will be fascinating because most of us just know Western medicine, and it's nice to remind ourselves that it's not the center of the world.
Hmm. Yes. Yesterday I had a healing session, a private healing session with a beautiful woman who is, how do you say pharmaceutica? Pharmacist. You know, a scientist. And she, when I finished my healing session, she looked at me like, what about are you talking? You know, it's just, I don't understand very well because I am a scientist and I don't know if I believe in you or not. You know, so it's difficult to walk between two worlds. For me, it's difficult. And I don't know when people from United States or from Europe trying to cross the bridge and learning about indigenous knowledge and the perspective of indigenous people have the same sensation that they are walking between two worlds and just passing in the fine line, you know? So, but let me show you about this video that trying to recollect, you know, no, how do you say recolectar? Collect? Information about what's going on in the rainforest Amazon and what happened with the elders, the healers, and medicinal plants. Mm-hmm. Can I turn on the...
Remember to hold the
What
mic
if there
up.
were a plant deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest and nowhere else in the world? A plant that could hold the key to finding a cure for diabetes, AIDS, or even cancer. What if the plant that held the cure was lost? Lost before the full potential of its healing powers have been explored. Lost before we even know its name. We are within a generation's time of losing thousands of years of knowledge. And the plant doctors, the Curanderos, who understand the medicinal powers of the plants, are aging. What if their timeless knowledge is lost before it is ever passed on? For thousands of years, the indigenous people of the Amazon rainforest have made use of the healing powers of plants. Their traditional methods have been recognized to be effective by over 100 pharmaceutical companies who are now researching the possibility of using these plants to help cure viruses, infections, cancer, and AIDS. In the time it's taken to watch this trailer, approximately 150 acres of rainforest were destroyed. What if the deforestation continues? What if we lose the cures before we find them? What if?
I met two friends from Los Angeles. One is Billy Marchese, and the other one, John Ratzik. And both of them have experiences with Native American people here and taking the peyote medicine, and also visiting South Dakota and have ceremonies with them and dancing, the sun dance. And then they decided to visit us in the jungle and take my medicine, the ayahuasca medicine. And after their first experience, they felt that it was time to help us to spread the word about what's going on in the rainforest Amazon, what's going on with indigenous people, what's going on with the elders, with our knowledge, with medicinal plants. And they went to visit to one of the incredible and wise old man, who is Guillermo Ohanama, one of my teachers. He is a maestro, not a shaman. He is a maestro. And they visited around 8 days, walking the first day and going deep and up into the Amazon for 9 hours. And when they discovered the deforestation, the big and beautiful trees and thousands of medicinal plants surrounding them, they felt like God touched their souls. And then Billy and Johnny decided to help us and produce this trailer. The idea was to work in terms of developing a documentary about medicinal plants, the elders. But they said, it's really hard to get money, to raise money and produce the documentary. So maybe if some of you, like a professional people, have some ideas to develop this trailer and making a documentary, all of us together, you are very welcome to give me your ideas. Because believe me, if the trees, if the medicinal plants are going very slow to disappear, the earth has not much time to survive. That is my mission here, to spread the word, to share with you knowledge, to express my love and respect to all of you, and also receiving and feeling your capacity of understanding that not only indigenous people have to work alone. If not, we need to all of you to build a community. So it's really difficult to try to put all the ideas, the concepts, and the understanding about how the medicinal plants work in our bodies. For me, like my teachers, it's more easy to touch you and use my flower water and the egg and chant my sacred songs, because I can feel your energy, I can touch your energy and see what's going on inside you, you know? So it's more easy to me if you have some questions about medicinal plants, because we work with thousands of medicinal plants to cure diabetes, arthritis, cancer. What is the expression in English? Multiple sclerosis. Anemia. Bichos. Heart attack. Blood pressure. Tifoidea. Typhoid. Malaria. And also the healers have the capacity to cure your soul, especially when you love a lot and you don't receive loving. So medicinal plants cure our soul and our bodies. Mm-hmm.
Can you mix medicinal plants with Eastern medicine?
With what? Eastern?
Yeah, like people here that are on medicine, let's say, and they want to go to the rainforest. I mean, can they still take that medicine, or do they have to cleanse their whole body in order to receive the medicine of the rainforest?
So you mean that when people take medication here and decide to visit us and take medicinal plants? Yeah. Well, it depends, Because if you have an infection or a surgery or depression, first you need to consult with your medical doctor if you can stop your medication. Because if you decide to go and visiting us and take medicinal plants, it's really dangerous if we combine both. It's a kind of poison in our bodies. So first you stop your medication and then go and take the medicine, you know, because it's really strong. So it's about the, how do you say, chemistry? The reaction, you know, in your body. And not necessarily the effects are good if you combine both. Because who knows? We don't know about the how do you say, the contenidos of the contents of the medication, you know, of the pharmaceutical companies. We know about our medicine and the properties, the medicinal properties of the medicine. And we mix everything and just give you the right dosification, you know, and take it. But we don't know about, you know, I don't know the names of the pharmaceutical companies, but if you are taking, how do you say, un antidepressante and antidepressant, and take ayahuasca later, forget it. Probably you will be crazy. Yes, believe me. Some people did the experience. Or some people from Europe take drugs and then say, oh, I am so excited to take ayahuasca, you know, because I heard that the ayahuasca is a new, how do you say, psicodélico? Psychedelic. Drug. And it's alternative, natural. So let's go. Forget it.
So anything like cholesterol or blood pressure, any of that
Can interact, but first you need to consult with your doctor and stop the medication, you know, because it's very complex. And because the elders need to check everything into your body and the reaction of the medicinal plants in your body. But if you are taking medication and medicinal plants at the same time, they don't have any opportunity to know the exactly problem that is going in your body. You know? Does it make sense for you? Uh-huh.
My question is it very common in your country for traditional healers, such as yourself, to work closely with doctors trained in university, typical American doctor type of training? Do healers and the medical doctors work together in your country?
We are very open, you know, and everybody is very welcome to visit us in the jungle, in the Amazon jungle, and spend some time together and learning about knowledge, indigenous knowledge and plant medicine. And in the last 8 years, some of the doctors from United States, some from Europe, were to Peru, were to Peru and visiting us, and trying to understand the combination, the properties of the plants, you know, studying the like a ethnobotanic, you know, but the Peruvian doctors, they don't respect us. They don't believe that medicinal plants are value. They say, oh, they are charlatanes. I don't know what is. So it doesn't exist any value, but we are open, you know. But the problem is that some of them have particular interests to get the information and then selling, like by themselves, you know. I discovered it, I found, this is my knowledge. Yes.
I'm not sure whether this is the solution or whether this might be something that would work against what one is trying to accomplish, which is to save the rainforest and preserve the medicinal plants. If one were able to determine the chemistry, the physiological impact of the medicinal plants, I wonder how ultimately that may affect the indigenous people and the elders in terms of what they do, and whether that would open up the opportunity, as you just alluded to, that someone might take that information and it would become part of some conglomerate who would then go in and have an even greater desire to harvest or destroy parts of the forest. I guess my question is, have there been any attempts been made to determine why these medicinal plants do what they do? Not a question of whether they do, not doubting that they do, but a question as to why they do what they do. Have there been any attempts to answer those kinds of questions?
I trying to focus my mind in your question or your reflection, but I think that I didn't understand very well.
Let me, I guess, rephrase it. Those who practice healing using medicinal plants
Uh-huh.
have some, they have knowledge about this plant may help with this plant may help with
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Does anyone else know why those plants do what they do? And have any attempts been made to determine that?
Mm-hmm.
Hay una lógica científica por qué funcionan las plantas en la manera que funcionan. Es la pregunta.
Si hay una lógica científica.
Sí, que puede explicar la manera que funcionan estas plantas. Y qué significa para el abuso o explotación consecuencial en el futuro para la preservación del bosque.
That's what I was trying to say.
I am hard about your question. Well, in our cosmovision, knowledge comes from the universe, from the Creator. They teach us, you know, the spirits, we call in Spanish espíritus celestes. Creator.
Celestial spirits.
And when you are a healer, this is a gift, thanks to Creator. And you, like Michael or like Eda, we don't have any chance to decide about, I want to be healer. Creator decides for us. So how can I explain you or explain to the scientist that when I am taking my medicine and flying like the eagles over the stars and see what happened in the universe and see what happened inside you and touching your soul, how can I explain that? Because that is my perception, my feeling, my visions about you, about your universe. So, or how the healer can explain that when he takes the medicine and see what's going on in your intestine or in your heart, and next day he says, you know, I found some trouble and I am very concerned about your heart because I saw you in my visions. And you need to take this particular medicinal plant to prevent your problem in your heart. So how the scientists can, how do you say, film your vision? So we have another, how do you say sistema de pensamiento?
Belief and thought system.
What?
Belief and thought system.
Belief and thought system. Ah, I like that expression. Yeah. So very different from the Western culture, you know? And the other question, it was, I don't remember.
Condensing form.
Well, I just wondered if anyone has attempted to examine what happens physiologically or what is the chemistry of what's going on with it. Because obviously there are extracts from these plants that are doing something. And I don't
A nivel químico, ¿alguien ha hecho esfuerzo para estudiar a nivel químico las reacciones científicas, comprobando?
Yes. For example, yes, there are some studies about the ayahuasca, the effects of the ayahuasca medicine. So scientists, doctors, and chemistries, but they only had the possibility to divide some of the, how do you say, molecules,
Molecular breakdown. Yes.
but they didn't have any chance to discover all of the medicinal properties
So they
and the reaction in your body. They only found 2 between 100 in the laboratory. You know, it's just trying to develop the reaction and the effects in terms of the sciences and get the information, you know. But it's really hard. I know that some pharmaceutical companies are searching right now about the properties, but probably it will take thousands of years, like our memory can recognize, because indigenous people use plants thousands years ago. And our practice is not only 100 years before, you know. And I think, again, that this is a kind of the difference, you know, between the sistema de pensamiento, you know. In my perception, science trying to reduce and put into the bag or some, how do you say, recipiente? Container.
We tend to do that.
You know? But in our system, knowledge is very, how do you say, expansivo.
Expansive.
And we don't have borders. We don't use containers to show you and say, oh, you know, this is the Shinguri Sacha, and you can use in this way. And this is the Sanango, and you can use in that way. No, we mix, prepare, and then give you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there people at all worried that pharmaceutical companies or large corporations will have like a gaining interest in medicinal plants, and that might actually speed up the tearing down of the forest and whatnot, or maybe even exploit your people for their knowledge?
We actually have many problems with, not only with pharmaceutical companies, if not with multinational corporation. And they want to exploit everything, you know, in terms of the natural resources. And that is a good question, because I know that in United Nations, you know, the Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues all over the world are trying to develop some international law to protect the derechos propiedades,
Property rights.
yes. But still it's really difficult, because probably the experts, you know, develop these rules, and then we have the tools to defend our territories and natural resources, but it's really difficult to control when you go deep in the forest, you know, because it's thousands and thousands of acres of rainforest Amazon, and it's impossible to have control, you know. Yeah, but it is happening right now. A California guy in the 90s tried to get a, how do you say, patent for ayahuasca. And hundreds of indigenous organizations from South America came to the Congress in the United States and say, this is our knowledge, you know? So it's difficult to have control about that. Yeah, many interests too. Mm-hmm. But it's very important if you are awareness about that, because when you hear or watch television or have the information about what's going on with the rainforest Amazon, you can have your own perspective, you know? Yeah. and use the information, the right information.
I have a question for the time that takes to heal, or the time of the treatment. Like my father has high blood system, and been taking medicine for more than 10 years, and he has to take medicine every single day because the problem that he has. So it will be the same if he, like if he switched and stopped that medicine and goes to the rainforest, he will have to take medicine for life as well.
How old is your father?
62.
And how many years is taking medication for?
More than
10
10.
years. 62, 10 years. Yeah, so why not your father go to Mexico and find some healers there?
Mexico. He's in Mexico. He's in Mexico, but the question is that he will have to take the alternative medicine for life, or is a shorter time?
It depends. At the beginning, when we start the treatment with the plant medicine, normally the elders, well, it depends of the disease too, you know. But at the beginning, we need to use and take the medicine very often, you know, daily. At least 1 month, the entire 1 month. And then stop and resting, and the healer checks, you know, in your body, the reaction, you know, and then start again with other plant for 1 year, for a year. And we will see. But not necessarily all his life. Oh, no. But yes, it's very important to be disciplined and patience. Because normally when we often take the pill and have the, how they say, instant reaction, we feel better. But with the plant medicine, it's different. You know, it takes long process. It takes time to see that you cure, you know. And the medicine cure, I am sure about that, yeah. The plant medicine cure us. Mm-hmm. No more questions?
Yes. Maybe you'd like to speak a little bit about the Western idea we have of indigenous people being shamans, and how the New Age movement has exploited people on their spiritual vision quest to, and only contributes to the operators of the business and doesn't bring any money into the communities of the elders.
Yeah, this is really hard to explain to me because I am very concerned. This kind of business grows up very quickly, and especially people from United States and France are developing business with our knowledge. And they contract the Indians to have ceremonies in Peru or Ecuador or Colombia or Bolivia. And they pay nothing. I have an example. When you get some information online, normally it costs around $1,800 or $2,000 or sometimes $3,000 for 8 days. in the jungle and having ayahuasca ceremonies and walk deep in the jungle and visiting indigenous communities. But the benefits don't go directly to the communities. The benefits don't go directly to the elders. So I am not saying that everyone who has an opportunity to work with plant medicine is bad to trying to be part of the market. No, but that I am saying is how important it is to preserve the respect and how important it is to share the benefits with indigenous people, especially with the elders. And learning that one of the most beautiful things that the Creator teach us is reciprocity. And the other bad thing is that, please, we are not shamans. We are healers, curanderos, curanderas. So it's very important to pay attention and reflect about the expression, you know, the name. And the New Age movement are changing a lot. How do you say the hábitos? Hábitos. The habits and customs in our cultures. Now in Peru, I see that at least 500 of mixed people have a website on internet and sending information like I am a shaman, I am offering ceremonies. If you can take the ayahuasca, please contact me. Or some agencies are developing connections between United States and Peru to bring people from here to the jungle and using these mixed New Age shamans. Because the agencies say that people from United States don't have much time to take an experience like that. So in 5 days, they need to take a ayahuasca ceremony, they need to walk with the Indians in the community, they need to visit the village. So we don't have much time to walk with the elders 8 or 9 hours up. So it's very complex, you know, it's like the system are involving us and we don't have many options to stop this and change that situation. It's very difficult, you know, and my people, they don't have many economical resources to say, stop, I am not interested about your business and please respect me. No, because if you give me $100 and say, make the ayahuasca for me and I pay you $100. So yeah, I accept that because normally I don't have any chance to get $100. So it's a kind of vicious circle, you know? So if you decide to visit us, and yeah, normally when people decide to visit us is because they have some physical problem or emotional problem, you know, and they are trying to get some alternative medicine, for example, plants. But if you don't know very well about what's going on with you, is first the elders, the healers, check your pulse and have a purge to clean, and then give you the medicine and see how the medicine work in your body, you know, or in your emotional side. Yeah, but in that case, we need that you at least spend 15 days with us, you know, to check everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What time is it? Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah, so.
So we need to close now, but I'd like to thank Ada again. Thank you for coming. Yes. Yes. And just a few announcements. Ada will be around for a little bit afterwards to talk one-on-one with people. Also, there is an email list going around, so if you would like to be on the email list to be informed of future lectures, events, or opportunities to interact with Ada, she would actually like to come back in May after she visits with the UN in New York on Council on Indigenous Issues. So we would like to look forward to welcoming her back then. Okay? Thank you again for coming.
Thank you. It's time to.